Peah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimel. I want to dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Okay, so we learned that one of the psukim, there are two psukim from Vayikra that talk about the idea of Peah, and in both of them it says, Lo techale pe'at tzadcha. You should not completely harvest the corner of your field, which obviously raises the interesting question. When we say corner, do we really mean it? I mean, does it have to be in the corner or not? So that's the topic of today's Mishnah. And we're going to see that it's a very complicated machloket. It's actually in the Gemara itself. The Gemara has a long discussion about this issue. The Gemara in Daf and Shabbat. The Gemara says that really when we said corner, we really wanted it to be a corner. And the Gemara gives 4 reasons. The Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon says, Bishvil arban dvarim. For 4 reasons, Amrat Torah la'aniach peah b'sof sadeh. The Torah said that a person should leave his peah, his tzedakah, the leftover produce, at the end of his field. That it really should be in the corner. So the Gemara is sort of going into ta'amei mitzvot and explaining the reasons. Question is it obligatory or not? That's what the Mishnah is going to discuss. But what are the 4 reasons? 1, b'nei gezel, aniyim, because of theft of aniyim, of the poor. 2, b'nei bitul aniyim, because the poor will remain not working or not engaged. They're going to be required. They're going to find themselves having to waste time. Mibnei achshad, because the people will be suspect. Umishum bal techale, because of the issur of lo techale pe'at tzadcha. The Torah says, do not get rid of, do not destroy the corner of your field. Do not harvest the corner. So Gemara is going to explain each one. Mibnei gezel aniyim, what does it mean that you'll steal from the poor? Shelo yireh bal habayit sha'a pnuya, v'yomar lekrovo ani harezo pe'ah. So what can you do? If you can pick anywhere in the field that you're going to leave the pe'ah, so you don't have to leave in the corner. So what you do is you say to your friend, or you say to your relative, you have a cousin who's a poor guy, you say, come on down. Tell you what, right now, that's pe'ah, you get it. And that's fine for him, but what about all the other poor? It's as if you're not leaving the pe'ah for the poor, you're leaving it for your cousin. That's not fair. Ubinei bitul aniyim, because the aniyim will remain disengaged, unengaged. Why? Because if you're going to leave it in the middle of the field, then they don't know where the pe'ah is going to be. They're going to end up having to wait until you say, okay, this is pe'ah, and then they're going to have to grab it. They're poor. They need produce. So therefore, if you leave it in an unspecified area of the field, they have to sit around and wait. That's not fair. Okay? Next one, 3, mipnei cheshad. What's cheshad? Cheshad is a person has to worry about how things look. Marit ayin. People are going to see the corner of the field is all cut down, and they're going to say, what the heck, it's not reasonable, the person didn't leave peah. They're going to think that you're a stingy miser and a jerk. The last one is the isur lo techale pe'at tzadcha. The Gemara says, what do you mean? Aren't they all bal techale? Rava says, because what happens is they're going to say, you're a thief. Like, of course you have to leave it, the Torah says. But people are going, but the thieves are going to say, no, I left it in the middle of the field, not the edge of the field. And you're going to, that's a way for a person to sort of get out of being suspect and get out of stealing. So that's the topic of it. So the Gemara says these are 4 reasons exist. The question is it obligatory or is it just good advice? Says the Mishnah. We're back on the Mishnah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimel. Says the Mishnah, Notnim pe'ah mitchilat hasadeh ume'emtza'ah. According to the Tanakama, it seems very much clear that one is permitted to give pe'ah from the beginning of the field or from the middle. So even though the Torah says, Lo techale pe'at tzadcha, bikusrecha, okay, pe'ah is good advice, but it doesn't have to be, according to the Tanakama, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Now there's a big machloket about this, we're going to see in the chart at the end. Is it lechatchila or b'di'evet? The Mishnah sounds like notnim pe'ah, permitted lechatchila. A person is permitted to give pe'ah betchilat hasadeh in the beginning or the middle of the field. But some opinions say no, it's not lechatchila, it's only b'di'avad. If you gave it in the middle of the field, it's considered pe'ah. Okay? But b'lechatchila, a person shouldn't do it. Rabbi Shimon says, ubilvad she'itein basof kashi'ur. Yes, your beginning, what you put in the middle of the field, is pe'ah, as long as you gave kashi'ur, the proper amount, at the end. So there's a machloket about what's going on here, what this really means. Here, I'll make you a little chart. Okay? There's a 3-way machloket. So the Tanakama says, if you leave pe'ah in the middle, it's considered pe'ah, lechatchila, or b'diavad. That's what we discussed. Rabbi Shimon says, it's considered pe'ah if We said, if the Mishnah says, if yitain basof kashiur. So what does it mean, yitain basof kashiur? The first opinion says, kashiur means you left what was left to get up to a shishin. So if you left 120th in the middle, then you have to leave another 120th to get to a total of a 60th, in order for this to be considered, for what you left in the middle of the field, to be considered Peah. Now, what's the difference if it's Peah or not Peah? There's a very, very fundamental nafkamina, very, very fundamental distinction. The first distinction, and most important one, is Peah is patur mi ma'asrot. Peah is not chayav in trumot and ma'asrot, because you left it for the aniyim. If it's Peah, then you don't have to take truma and maaser, and that's a very important thing. If it's not Peah, then it is considered regular produce, and you have to take off trumot and maaser. So says Rabbi Shimon, it is Peah if you left at the end either what's the language? The language of the Mishnah is ubilvad sheyitain besof kashiur. I'm going to put that in the chart. Okay, let's put it in a quote. Ubilvad sheyitain besof kashiur. What does that mean? Okay, so the first opinion means you left enough so that sum total of the middle plus the edge plus the corner is 1/60th. The second opinion says, no, means if you left a 60th at the end, then what you left at the beginning in the middle is also Peah. But if you didn't leave the full 60th in the end, if you didn't follow the halacha in the end, then what you left at the beginning is not considered Pe'at Tzadacha. Rabbi Yehuda says, the third opinion, Rabbi Yehuda says, if you left Im Shiar Kelach Echad, one sheath, one cabbage, one stalk, Somech lo mishum Peah, then you can associate that which you left in the middle to be Peah. V'im lav, and if not, eino noted ale mishum hefker. Then what you're giving is not Peah, it's hefker. Hefker is not chayav in trumot u'masor, but anybody can take it, not just the poor people. So here's Rabbi Yehuda. Yehuda says, what you left in the middle is considered Peah. If you left klach echad, even a tiny amount, the smallest amount, if you actually left Peah, then what you left in the middle can be mitztaref, can be combined, and that's all considered for the shiur Peah. But if you didn't leave anything at the end, then what you left in the middle is hefker, and it's not considered Peah. As always, if you have comments or questions, that's the end of our Mishnah. If you have comments or questions, contact me, rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.